Evening.
Oh, I'm still waiting to go live here. Oh, there we go. Gone live.
You know when you say go, you're supposed to hit the go button, mate.
I did. It just took ages. All right, let's double check. Yeah, we're good.
Hey, give success.
It's only 2 minutes past 8 as well. Brilliant.
Look at that, gentlemen. Huzzah.
There's still time for someone to drop out. Hang on, there's still time.
Yeah, right. Cool. Good evening. Welcome to the Plastic Crap Podcast. Me, Ken from Miniature Wargaming Warriors. I'm joined by my brethren from all over the UK on this beautiful evening. We have one thing in common, and that is plastic crap. so above me is Martin's seventh son. To my right is Steve from On Point HQ, and diagonally across from me is Boots on the Table Dom in that horrible green 95th rifle shite.
Thank you very much.
I wear it especially for you two. That's why I do it. It's only for you two.
Oh dear. But yes, I definitely.
Evening, chaps.
Yes.
How are we all doing? All good?
Good. Yes. Good evening. I definitely look like the court jester. Oh dear. So
yeah, Ken, you've gone a bit crazy with that intro. That's a whole new intro level. Well done, mate. Brilliant.
Crazy.
You're just a master at that.
It's all improv, isn't it? It's all that drama paid off for BTEC in year 11, like 16 years ago. Just needed an easy one to get through. No, yeah. Oh mate, I can see on my face I picked the spot earlier, and it's just really.
Oh no, it's all gone downhill straight away. Look at that.
Yeah, there we go.
Just started. It was all going so well, and Ken's talking about his bloody zits. Jesus Christ!
I'm nearly 30 for Christ's sake. I shouldn't get spots. Jesus, I'm getting old. Right.
Shut up.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, shut up, Ken.
Oh dear. Hi, Private Kelly. Good evening, mate. How you doing?
What else have we got
coming
here?
from Dave's bunker, he says.
We've got
Peter Little. Hi, mate.
Nick Games is here. Hello, mate. You got Constable Gray, Richard Bradley, Duncan FX, Miller's here, and Hayley's there. I thought she was going to a shop, but
she couldn't resist.
I suppose she's coming.
Hayley, you spent 300 quid this week on bloody a box set between me and him. Don't trust him. Don't let him out. Zulus. Just say Zulus.
I only say that. It's his last paycheck before Christmas this weekend, isn't it? And I'm already like looking at things, just going, can I?
It's Black Friday. Yes,
that's true. I did.
It was Black Friday, so we shall try not to divulge too much this week in like going completely off topic. So let's do some miniature talking this week. So what's everyone been up to then? So do you want to start with Steve?
Quite a diverse week last week. Not just German stuff. So what have I been up to? I have been. It was featured in my last video. I've been converting Kriegsmarine out of some random old metal miniatures.
Very nice.
What else have I done? I finished a Senegalese section for my early war bolt action French. What else did I do? And I worked on two British armour over the weekend, so a Churchill and an M10. So quite a diverse amount. Distinct lack of Germans apart from the Kriegsmarine. So it's been a bit of a strange week for me. But tonight I am working on 5 early war French infantry, because I've only got 10 left, and I'm calling that whole project Finn.
You ain't got long left though, have you? You haven't got long left.
No, almost done. But that's it. That's what I've been up to. It's been fun.
Very nice. What about yourself, Don? What have you been up to?
Well, having decided to start a brand new project, the Normans in Sicily again, and continuing with other ongoing projects. No, they're Viking, mate. You should know that. They're not French.
Yeah, I know they do, but they live, in the same bit.
No, don't count at all. Sorry.
French, not French.
No, so I started to do that, and so I was doing lots of research, and as you saw, and I went hunting through all my boxes to find. I knew I had a few extra figures kicking around, so I just thought I'd go hunting for all them at the same time. And then when I was in there, I found all these. Somebody had given, when the mags War Games Illustrated was giving away German Winter War infantry. I had my one, and I think two other guys at least at the club had given me their sprues, and then I had some more that were kicking around. So I suddenly realised I had about 40 or 50 German Second World War in winter wear. So I thought, oh, sod it, just for a bit quick light relief, I'll do a couple of them. 35 figures later, and a mortar crew, and heavy machine or medium machine gun, and just started on the pioneers and sniper, and there's a few more I've just found as well. So it suddenly got a bit carried away. So suddenly the Norman thing just sort of got a little bit parked. It's going to happen, but it's just sitting there, and I've just done all because I really, really enjoyed it. It was just nice, just to do something a bit different, and doing those German Second World War. It was actually a real release from doing all the Napoleonic stuff. So I really enjoyed it, and I got a chance to do a bit of snow effect, a la Martin, which was great. And,
we've not had any snow chat for a while, have we? It's been a few weeks since a bit of the.
No, exactly.
It's because he's been sniffing.
I thought it was about time I kept that going. You see, we need to start.
I was doing it while we were chatting. No one commented on it. I was surprised. I was here measuring it out in front of you just before we went live. He's drawing. I've got my Carthaginian guy.
We're just so used to seeing you use it all the time.
Best Colombian out everywhere. Yeah.
Welcome to
that was fun. So I did that
podcast, everyone.
Yeah. please don't report Martin to the police. Well, please do, because it'll make my day.
That would be quite amusing, wouldn't it? You'd have to record it when they come in through the door, Martin.
Oh well, yeah, get it on. That could be on one of those shows.
Yeah.
Make sure there's a camera here. It's like we heard, yeah. They break in and they start like wrecking all my miniatures.
And then they realise actually it's a false alarm.
I've got the theme tune to Cop stuck in my head now.
Oh dear. Well, that's
funny.
That's cool then. What about yourself, Martin? What have you been doing?
What have I been doing? I've been doing English Civil War.
There's a surprise.
I'm working my way through my. Yeah, I am. I've worked my way through my large pike block. So I've finished all the pikemen. So that's 20 pikes done as the King's Lifeguard. I've done the Colonel, and I'm just sorting out the rest of my command now. So I've got 3 ensigns because I want 3 flags. I don't know why, but I thought that would look cool. A piper, a drummer. This guy, I just ran out of pike arms, so I've given him a sword so he can, I don't know what he's going to do. He's just in, he drops his pike and he's going to have a go. I've also, though, just finished my Carthaginian commander for my for that army. So he's currently drying with the snow on him, so I'm not going to move him at the minute. And I've just started painting this model for God tier. It's just something a bit different. So I've got this big old 54mm model to paint up, which is kind of like an ice witch skeleton thing. So just something a bit
different, isn't it?
Yeah, something a bit different, and it's really good quality plastic as well. It's not very bendy at all for board game stuff. So and there's a lot of detail on it. So I'm trying to do something a bit different. So yeah, that's me. What about you?
Well, it's been an interesting week actually. I've been working on my US Airborne and working on them tonight. But I really am taking my time with them, which I've never done with any sort of bolt action models before. Normally it's just slap some paint on and go. But these guys, I want to make these guys the best models I've painted. So I'm managing to get through them at a reasonable rate. So I'm making sure to probably put, instead of normally 1 or 2 coats, I'm putting 3 or 4 coats of every paint on. Just to make sure I get a nice coverage of everything. And I spent about 2 days just getting all the mould lines off of these guys. And I mean every single one I could find. I haven't come across any yet, which is a good sign. Because normally, you give them a quick glance over for mould lines, but you end up always missing some, don't you? You don't always get every single one.
Oh God, yes. That's the law.
But I have with these guys, which is quite nice, which I've never actually done. So I am very much looking forward to getting this project well underway, which it is now. Hopefully, get another video up about these very soon. I'm just waiting for a couple of paints to come through so I can get them a bit further, because I've got 3 different paints on in a minute, but I'm just waiting on a few to come through. But I also was making up some more Napoleonic French, of course.
Why not? But the thing is, you just chug away in the background, can't it? Because you'll never be done. That's it now. You've got Napoleonics. You'll never be done.
No, exactly. And I did paint 8 bits of flesh on some of this 6mm stuff just to see what it looks like, starting to get a bit of colour on it. And yeah, it's quite interesting actually. But I've finally made up all my my Voltigeurs for like my skirmishy sort of units, so like the 95th Rifles Nemesis. Made them up out of all the Perrys, and I just before we come on air, which was my first ever attempt, was a very maybe a controversial move. I cut off a metal head from I think he's a Peninsular War Voltigeur, and I've just stuck I think he's probably an 1815 head on him. So I'll make sure to put that on the Napoleonic Wargamer later. See what you guys think of that.
Can you tell me when you do it, please?
Yeah, don't worry. I'll put you on there. Don't worry. I'll tag you into it. And
no, don't tag me. I don't want people to think I'm associated with you.
No, we don't want that humiliation.
No, I don't want that.
We want to see the fallout.
Yeah,
brilliant.
I can hear the sharpening of sabers already.
Yeah,
the pitchforks.
Yeah, I've and also I've made up that the commander for everything as well. So got the command base ready to go. I just need to. I've got an idea of how I want to do it, but until it starts getting freeform in my mind, like I want to do a bit of sculpting work on it. We'll see how it goes, and yeah, everything's going well. Everything is going well, and I've tidied my desk up, which is nice. I like to do that every now and then, just to organise everything.
I have a question for people, that, just because before I paint it, what colour is the actual drum meant to be on one of these? Like, what colour is the? Obviously, the chords and that I was just going to do red because it's the King's Lifeguard. But what colour is the actual body of the drum meant to be? In these English Civil War, is it just whatever I? Is it because there's no red?
I'm not entirely sure.
And
I think I've just done whatever. I think I just did whatever I fancied at the time.
Yeah, I think I just did whatever.
Really.
Oh, I can't be asked walking to the other side of the room. I'll have a look.
Miller's in the chat. Hang on, he's there as well. He's the one who's responsible.
He'll know.
Miller.
Yeah, Miller.
Miller, what do I do? Come on.
That's when it goes pink.
I don't think it necessarily was a uniform colour myself.
Yeah, I've got the tan on the skin, but I was just wondering what
Private Kelly in my chat.
Well, they are obviously like on Napoleonic stuff. It's more uniform, so that's.
Private Kelly in my chat says gold or brass.
And there we go. It was me. Brilliant.
I don't know whether that's true or not.
Yeah.
My back.
Oh,
yeah. He said gold or brass.
I don't think you actually went. Gold or brass was Kelly, Private Kelly's suggestion.
Okay, we've got gold and brass here as well. Okay.
There you go.
Right. Okay.
So mine are all wrong. So's yours, Steve. There you go. It's all fine.
Mine's going to be wrong. I just.
Yeah, mine too. I don't care.
Wow.
At that period of time, then were they? What year was these guys? What year? Your English Civil War?
1640s.
So
yeah,
you're talking about
42, 48.
Are you talking about the first forming of the modern day British Army then?
The new model army.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're on the opposite side to what I'm playing against. I don't like.
Okay, so you haven't got the Guards regiment because they were around then, weren't they? It was when they were formed.
I've got the Lifeguards. These are the King's Lifeguards that I'm painting up now.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the Lifeguards was one of the regiments, wasn't it, that was formed at that or formed just before that period, and is still in operation, obviously today.
Yeah,
a couple of them, I think.
Yeah, one of the Guards regiments is as well. Yeah, because they picked their weapons up, didn't they, after Cromwell's rebellion, they put them down and then picked them up, didn't they? Is that right? Am I quoting that right? To say that they now form allegiance to someone else. When the fuck am I thinking of?
Well, I don't know, mate.
I don't
I
know.
could be right about that. I could be talking absolute bullshit. I thought at the end of the English Civil War that they laid their weapons down and then picked them up again in the name of the crown.
Leslie's a bit with me, Martin, on the old drum thing, and he's saying the drum was painted wood with stretched skin for the drum head. Now, I remember, certainly when you see the reenactors, they're wood. They're not actually, they're just painted wood.
So just do it like just do it brown then.
Brass is expensive. Though.
Yeah, or just white or whatever. But that's
right.
Because brass would be pretty heavy. I know Napoleonics had brass, didn't they? But I don't know. Kelly and others might know better, but
here we go. Miller said, sorry, you can do whatever. Some regiments had red, green, zigzags, and all sorts of different designs over the top. And then Brushing Quill is just going, which Civil War? Because, of course, it was...
Oh, don't let him get going.
Four?
Don't let him get
Did you count the Bishop's War?
Oh,
like that.
dear.
Who else? There's been quite a few people have said hello. There's Ewan and Aaron Lowe are here. Constable Grey, Battle Matt, Tabletop CP. Hello. Matt Mail. I think I said Nick Games already, but hello again. I can't remember. Owen Douglas as well. Wow.
I have to say, with Travis from Tabletop CP there, has anybody watched his latest video that he put up? I'm going to embarrass him now because he put a Warriors of, what's the name, Elrond thing game up. And you've never seen a person had the worst, as bad a luck as he did. It literally, nothing went right for him from day one. It was a tough old scenario, which I think he had absolutely no chance of winning anyway. But it just like, everything that could go wrong went wrong. This was very funny. Not for him, I don't think, but it was, and you could just, I was saying the other week about editing a video, and you can feel your voice you can hear your own voice just getting more and more sort of frustrated, and I could hear it in his, and it was just like, and it was very funny. Sorry, Travis.
You ruined it for us.
It's a good watch. Good watch. I enjoyed that. I must get that. Have you played that one? That's the sort of bolt action fantasy.
No,
I've got the rule book, and I've got a knight's army for it. I built it using my sort of recycled Warhammer Fantasy Battle Empire army, and then I threw in some. I never remember the name of the company that make them. They do a lot of stuff. Set around the Crusades.
Fireforge.
Fireforge, that's the one. I got some of their mounted Templar knights and painted them up as knights. The good thing about Era One is that you can use any figures you want, fantasy wise. It's so
just crack on
expansive. You can just use anything. Yeah. It's really, really good, and the mechanics around the game, very, very much bolt action sort of inspired. But I've not played it. I've got a full army for it, but I've never actually got around to playing. But I'd recommend it though.
He was using a Roman army against an undead army. So yeah, to your point, you could pretty much use anything you liked.
That sounds cool.
Yeah,
which I like those sort of things. I mean, that's a bit like Oathmark, which I also like the look. Like the game. Because it's just that flexibility. You can use pretty much anything you want.
Yeah.
In that case, you can use anything against anything. But yeah,
that's a point, Dom. I suppose anyone really, but I guess if you, I was watching a battle report for the Bycorn miniatures. Well, I don't know if it's their game, but it's a set of rules that they're on their thing called "The Kingdom Is Ours," which is an English Civil War rule set. But that activates like bolt action, where you pull a dice out. You pull a dice out a bag, and then so you have a certain number of order dice for units, and then you chuck in a single sort of MacGuffin dice, which ends the turn and creates an event, a bit like in Muskets and Tomahawks.
Nice.
So you draw this out, and then at the end of the turn, I've got to finish watching it, but at the end of the turn, you take a test for every single unit, and if they fail, you roll on an event table. So the unit might the sergeants might suddenly come to the front and get them all into order, or suddenly they load up with better ammunition, or the fuses are too short, or something like that, or they rush forwards.
Oh, cool.
It looked quite cool, but every unit has a stat tracker. So you have the pike block in the middle with a certain number of hit points, and then the wings with the musketeers, and you use dice to track them on a little. They sell little MDF things for you to put them in. And you're not actually behind the unit, like on your side of the board. And then when you get to a certain number, you then remove the whole base. So I think they found a way to bridge that base removal, but not get rid of everything really quickly.
That's quite cool.
So I don't know if it's I think it's that one I sent you. It's like £3 at the minute on the Naval and Military History bookshop, the rule book.
Oh, really?
It's like £3.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, send me. Did you send the link? Did you say?
Yeah, I'll do it again. It's this one.
Oh,
that
please,
one that you sent me this thing here.
Oh, the newspaper. Yeah.
Yeah. The one that's been. Yeah. It's been my spray
paint on the other day.
No, it looked good. Hang on, I don't know if it's still in here. There's a lot of good books in here. It makes me sad.
Actually, funny enough, Battle Knights was just asking whether anybody had a recommendation for a good ECW rule set. So maybe that might be a good one.
Yeah, I think you don't need as many models. I think it's I think it's fast play. But yeah, if you can get it at £3, £4 or whatever it is, then
sounds like a bit of a bargain.
Yeah, you haven't lost anything if it turns out to be crap.
No, exactly.
No, I must have taken those pages out.
And you can never have too many rule sets. Everyone knows that. It's one of the rules of wargaming.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we got Miller said we'd have to give it a go. I do. Miller has sent me all these miniatures, and I really do want to give them a go because I've painted up everything in that box as like one regiment. So I need to go now and buy some more. I just made one massive regiment. So I've got, because I'm using some. I'm going to do a video on them, so I won't do it. But I'm using some bases that the guy who designed To the Strongest has made, because he's done a rule set called King and Parliament. Because that's another rule set I want to try out.
Yeah.
So he's done something for them. So but his bases have got this sort of zigzag edge to them.
Yeah.
So they go together. Look. But it's there you go. Look. It's quite
cool.
Aesthetically pleasing.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the holes are just massive. Yeah.
I like that.
But what I've done is I've put my command on a separate base for the English Civil War, so they're not going to be so I can move them from at the front where they get skewered to actually at the back. So just to sort of change things up a little bit. We'll see. There'll be a video up in a bit when my flags arrive.
Where'd you get them? Where'd you get your flags, mine?
I went to GMB because I feel loyalty towards it, because I've used him for all my flags. And I know the quality of them, and I'm a bit scared to go somewhere else. It's like going to a restaurant and ordering something that you've never had before because you're scared it might be shit.
Yeah.
I know what I'm getting with him, and I like his flags.
They are good. They
like
are
to
good
support
flags.
the same people if you can.
They're cheap. They're pretty cheap as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Not bad price, are they?
No, pretty good.
My only frustration with them is sometimes he does double flags, and I'm only going to need one of them, and I end up with a whole load of extra flags I don't need, which is my only frustration. But that's just me not only using one flagpole. Unlike Martin, who's using 3.
Yeah. Encourage you to spend more money, like get some more plastic to go with those flags.
But that was quite good the other day, because when I had those, I got all those spare miniatures together, and I was like, oh, I've got enough here to do another battalion, and then I just had a flag, so I just stuck it on them. I have no idea if the colours or the facings or whatever are correct, but they are now.
The mystery of the drum was settled. Private Kelly thought we were talking about Napoleonic drums. That's why he was going on about brass gold. Yeah, which is true. They are brass and gold there. Yeah, ACW seems to be wooden. There you go. Averted that crisis. And Jason Battle Knight said he's laid down the challenge on the worst luck. He said he's just put up a dragon rampant video where his opponent had the worst luck he'd ever seen in his life. So there you go. So forget Travis. That's it sounds like Jason's mate. He's
Jason's
the unluckiest of the lot.
Got to be bad if it's worse than Martin. Bless him. Oh.
Again, I
I think that
you don't beat
I
your
think
wife, though.
The unluckiest I've ever had in a game in recent memory was a game of Bolt Action last year. My opponent Ian, in 3 shooting phases, got 3 exceptional kills in a row. 3. He took an anti-tank gun, a bazooka, and an NCO from a Marine section in 3 successive rounds. I was just like, yeah, that was the game. I changed dice in round 4.
I'd have got him to change bloody dice.
I think I invented about 14 new ways to swear that day.
Bolt action video I've got coming very soon. My graphics card is finally on its way, so I'll be able to start editing like bigger videos again. Oh, can't wait. But yeah, the bolt action video I've got, it looks like it's a one-sided game. Like I'm not going to say about it because people want to watch it, but it doesn't turn out like that in the end. It turns quite interesting, but someone in our game was like, yeah, swearing a hell of a lot because the game basically thinks over in the first turn when that sort of thing starts happening, doesn't it, Steve? When mortars start hitting every turn and, you know, snipers start hitting with every single shot, you're like, yeah, game over.
That was another thing. I failed 2 order tests in a row. There was two veteran Marine sections with just 1 pin, and I managed to roll 2 11s, one after the other.
Yeah, mate, I know that feeling. Don't worry about that.
I mean, I consider myself fairly unlucky, but it's a nice consistent thing that I've learned to live with. And then I get a bit worried if it starts going the other way. But it's more to do with my opponent's luck. So we went to Warlord Games. My mate, for his birthday, we actually went there and we had a table and a little foyer thing. So we had a 6x4 out there. And we're playing out there, and we're playing the scenario where you've got to get into the middle of the board and then get off with a unit because you get a bit of intel or something like that. And I got in, and I'd already been brutally taken apart, and I was getting off the board, and he just launched a mortar, and it just hit me on a 6. Just as next turn, my next order dice, my guy would have been off, and he just does it, 6, bang, there it went,
done.
That was just
so frustrating when that happens.
Yeah.
That's such a frustrating rule, that one.
I know.
What about incidents of just where the dice gods, the planets must align and the dice gods look down upon you for a brief time? I remember I was playing a practice game of X-Wing before a tournament, and it was a list I'd used a few times before, but I dismantled again. It was Ian, my regular opponent. I dismantled his rebel list. I killed a ship every turn. I think it lasted about 5 rounds, but it was absolutely every dice I picked up and rolled was a hit, and everything he rolled was just crap. And it was one of the shortest and most brutal games of X-Wing I've ever played in my life. We won't see days like that again.
No.
I can't. I don't know if I ever tend to get the whole game. Something will go really well for me, like I'll get all my orders off, and my army will do everything I tell it to do, and it will march and it will take position, and then it will turn, and then they'll miss every single shot.
I always found that your shooting's pretty good, Martin. When you played me, your shooting was really good, but your actual movement was shit. But when you got to shoot, it was awesome. You were rolling really well, and a lot of disorders. You did a lot of disordering with 6s.
You obviously have my problem, Martin. You rolled too high, and that's been really not good for the orders phase in Black Powder. Because I had the same problem. I rolled too many 5s and 6s, and it just doesn't work. It just can't do it. Half my army won't go anywhere. Ridiculous.
That's why we play, though, isn't it? Because it's a lot. It's those moments of watching your opponent utterly frustrated and on the verge of tears. There's something really nice about that. Yeah, something warm and glowy. We got some plans for some games coming up. which I have a feeling because I am giving Hayley another game, but I've let her kind of, I say let her. She's asked if she can design the scenario.
Okay.
So I said okay, sort of, I'm not offering any kind of advice or anything like that. She understands the rules, she plays the rules, she gets it. So we'll see what happens. I guess I'm a bit worried.
I suspect a major role for the 95th somehow.
Yeah, the 95th Rifles are bivouacked in this church, and then it'll probably just be like an episode of Sharp. And
Yeah, it will.
And
probably then, because her new love is the cavalry, they'll come into play in a big way. So you'll have 95th and the Dragoon Guards coming.
Sharp's bedded a lady in this church. He's found a new lady friend, and the whole objective of the game is to get the lady friend out the back with Harper without getting spotted by the French cavalry. That'd be quite funny. Yes,
it would just be really good. I mean, to be fair, if you were a lady and you see Sharp, the best thing to do is to not go near him because they all die, don't they? Like it's not good. Don't go near him.
Don't marry him ever.
Yeah.
What's your name? Major Richard Sharp. Yeah, fuck off, mate.
Yeah, I'm off.
I'm off. See you later.
I've seen the red shirts in Star Trek. I'm giving this one a miss.
Yeah.
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 Oh dear.
Oh dear.
That went down really easy.
So we had a couple of discussions about the worst dice. So Culloden painting. Rory said worst dice rolls I've ever had was playing 40k 4th edition in the early 20s. Landed a demolition cannon on 5 Chaos Marines. Required +2+ to kill them. Rolled 5 1s. And JP, who does brilliant Napoleonic games with his young son Charlie, he said, "I think my old guard managed to roll 5 1s in close combat on 5 dice in one of the most recent Napoleonic games."
It's painful.
Yeah, but that's just because Charlie rolls just amazing dice.
I love that.
That's one of the fun things about the game, right? And it can be frustrating as hell at the time, but it kind of is all those things that you think about afterwards. You think, geez, that time when I just couldn't roll a thing.
It makes the times when you do roll
really annoying
really
when
nice,
you're only game a week.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It is one of those frustrating things. I mean, I love the hobby, and obviously wouldn't do it for as long as I have done without loving it. But one of the things that does frustrate me a bit is that massive, sometimes, it doesn't happen that often, but sometimes where just the dicing completely throws the game because it's just too good or too bad, or while you're doing absolutely amazingly well, your opponent's doing nothing. And while it's nice to win, it's not. You don't want to win at all costs, do you? And sometimes you just think, oh god, that game wasn't as much fun as it should have been because that dicing was just far too.
You both need to have fun, don't you? That's the whole point of it. Close games are the best games. Close games are the best games.
Exactly.
100%.
Definitely. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to put together some Victrix British foot artillery. There's no instructions, and I'm really not sure how they go together.
There is online from.
Oh, is there? Oh,
yeah. You've got to go to.
Can't do that. I'm on a stream. I can't put it online as well.
You got your phone?
Ken, how far do you get with your Victrix British?
Fuck off, Steve.
That could be like a Christmas live stream.
No, it can't be like a Christmas live stream. So I'm not done.
That should be a Christmas challenge, definitely. They're wearing red and white. If you wear a Santa outfit and try and stick together loads of British stuff,
you're such an ass. Not yet.
Advent calendar. It could be a live stream advent calendar.
No, not yet. I'm not going to touch my British yet. They're not getting touched. I've got to finish my French first. I've got to be happy. I've got to get 3 brigades of French, and I'll be happy. Once I've got my 3 brigades of French, then I can move on to the British. That's fine because I can add slowly to the French then, because French are going to be my predominant force. 100% they're going to be. They seem to be doing so well against Dom as well, which is really nice.
Oh dear.
But yeah, no.
Oh, thank you, Rory. Yes, I will take you up on that, mate. He said he's just painted. He's just done some recently. He said, give me some advice on assembling them. I know Victrix are never great with their instructions, but I mean, it's just they could have put it on the back of the freaking card, couldn't they?
Even if it's just A to B2 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've got the limber here, and it's like, so what bits go with the limber? It's obviously the wheel. Oh, anyway, I'll do that later. Moan over. Imaginary conflicts. Hi, mate. I don't think I've seen you in here before, but thank you. He says, worst I saw was when my brother and I played WFB 6th edition. He rolled a 1 to hit and yelled, "Why do you curse me, dice gods?" He then promptly began to choke and cough, apologised to the gods, and rolled a 6. There you go.
So we just have to make a sacrifice beforehand.
You just have to make a sacrifice. Exactly. You cannot piss off the dice gods. Everybody knows that. Jeez. Oh dear.
I don't know what's going. I think they're having a bit of a debate about ECW in here. I can see a lot of comments from Miller. I assume he's.
Oh, he's a prime stirrer. He's old Miller.
I've lost an American here. I've got a man down. Where's he gone?
Oh, no,
man down. I just dropped the head of a British. So
I found him.
So people are asking about Muskets and Tomahawks version 2 and the upcoming Napoleonic version, which should be coming out imminently, I believe.
Oh yes.
Certainly.
The next one, isn't it?
Black's. What's it? North Star.
Yeah.
They did that 1812 offer, which is in the next book. So I'm assuming it's very, very soon.
They're in this book.
I think that's great.
1812 is in the current book. Yeah, War of 1812 is in the current book. Redcoats and Tom, because you can. Yeah, it's in the current one.
Oh, because it's all North America, isn't it? Yes, sorry. Yes, quite
it's
right.
In the current one,
yeah, quite right. Yeah, really, really nice figures. Yeah, but I think the Napoleonic one is due very, very soon. But I imagine it's only going to be. So GP's asking what's force sizes. I mean, Musket. I mean, you can fight any sort of number, but really, it's probably about 30 figures a side, if that.
Yeah.
Mainly skirmishers. The infantry come in groups of what? 8?
6, 8.
Skirmishers and 8s and 6s, really.
You can get skirmishers at like 5, can't you?
So I've got 12.
You only have a couple of.
So you can get some of them.
You only have a couple of generals or officers, so it's pretty easy.
Easy
to do.
You can have up to 1 artillery up to a certain size, and then up to 2 pieces of artillery for bigger. So that's it.
Yeah. The beauty of it, I think, is that you can play Muskets and Tomahawks with a small number of figures, and then you can build up a little bit more and play sharp practice, and then you can build up a little bit more and play black powder, and effectively the same troops you can use just by increasing your numbers a little bit to play the different games, and they're all good, I think. But you just need that little bit more for sharp practice, and then a little bit more still for black powder. But I think Musket and Tomahawks, I think it's a really clever game. My only criticism of it is it's really hard to get a result. Well, it has been in the games we've played, because the scenarios are quite involved, and you don't move very often or very far. Unless you're incredibly lucky or you burn a lot of your bonus things. So it can be quite. Although you're supposed to play on a 4x4 table, so it's quite small. It can be quite difficult to move across the table, especially if your mission is to get from one end of the table to the other, or get to the middle of the table. And it's really hard to do it.
We struggled, didn't we?
So I think that's the only. Yeah. So I think it's a great system, really clever, but I think that's my only criticism of it.
Because I've got like the French Canadians. I've got loads of Native Americans on my side. They move really bloody quick though. they've got. I mean, they move because it's 4-inch standard, 1 inch for scout, 1 inch for native, and then if there's no enemy within 12 inches or 24 inches, I think they get another inch or 2 inches on that.
Yeah.
So they move really fast. Which it's different though. That's what's good about it.
Yeah. You forgot to throw your tomahawks, didn't you? Tomahawks.
Yes, I did forget to throw the tomahawks. But I had one guy. I had my Sancham. He came running out and saw off a whole unit of Rangers because we've mixed the time period slightly. Because I've got a French Canadian force for the French Indian War, and my mate's got American War of Independence. So, I say we mix the periods. We're talking what 5-6 years, not a massive amount of time.
It's not like you've rocked up with a Pershing tank or anything like that.
No. Right. The Napoleonic one will be interesting, but I think the one that I'm really, really looking forward to is the American Civil War. That's the one I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, that could be really good, actually. Yeah. I'm looking forward to them all. But yeah, I think that could be fun too.
Would it work with like a modern style World War One sort of scenarios, like troops, or is it would it not work with that, like trench warfare?
I guess it would work.
Apart from the one where you got to get off the other side of the board, yeah.
Yeah, that could be tricky. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I don't see why it wouldn't.
Because I was just thinking, because obviously you get up close and personal in trench warfare, don't you? You've got a bit of shooting, haven't you? And I was just thinking, it just popped in my head for some reason.
Yeah, it could be pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, Little Legions is in the house. Hi, mate. How you doing? GP says he saw the North Star 1812 offer and was bloody tempted, but he's hankering after some Peninsula skirmishes. Yeah, it's fine. I agree. That's going to be great. And Peter, I did buy some 1812 figures. You're quite right. I admit it. I did. It did. It's the little shiny things. I got to buy them. They're nice.
Someone posted in the North Star thing. They said that they're doing a War of 1812, and they bought but there's just some shop on eBay just selling nothing to do with Wargaming, an MDF replica of the White House, and they bought it. They're going to set fire to it, just so they did, and then put it out, and then have it as the wreck, and do that scenario where we lit it. I'll have to find the post, but it was brilliant. He had like a whole methodology for what he was going to do, and then use it as a big terrain piece.
Lovely.
That was pretty cool, actually. Got a smart little idea, that, isn't it?
So, what was Miller's question?
Miller's question. Hang on a second. I'll dig it out. It's an interesting one. So Miller is trying to get his son into wargaming, and so he said, "What would you gents say?" And I guess to everybody who's in the chats, is the best entry-level game and period for historical for a young person to have a go at if you want them to get into wargaming. So what's the best period and rules to get someone into historicals? Not necessarily what's the favourite or something like that.
Easy. Bolt action.
I think bolt action as well.
Yeah.
I tend to agree. I think Second World War is generally one of the easiest periods to get into for youngsters, I would have thought.
Yeah. You got tanks as well. As Hamster was just
exactly. You got tanks, guns. Sorry.
Putting the dice
about
out
bolt action. The thing, if you wanted to teach, especially a young person to play bolt action, is that you wouldn't necessarily have to go out and buy bolt action figures. You go out and buy one of those great big bags of cheap ass toy soldiers. Yeah. They would work as a learning as a step into gaming.
Yeah.
That would work so well.
Yeah. No, I think it's unanimous, isn't it? Bolt action.
It's not. Private Kelly says Waterloo Risk. Much less costly. It's a good shout, though. I do like a bit of Risk. Risk is a good old game.
Kaiser, hello, mate. He said Gale Force 9's tank game. That's a good shout, actually. I've played that. That's like a little bit, well, plays a bit like X-Wing, I think. But
yeah,
it's that's a good game.
I've not played that one. I think those. I mean, honestly, the honest answer, I think whatever they're interested in. So if they like, the idea of Robin Hood and medieval knights and that sort of thing, then some sort of simple medieval game might be, maybe was it Lion Rampant or whatever, that kind of thing, which is a nice simple game to play. Something that's maybe a bit more up to date. I mean, I do think the beauty of Second World War game systems is the rule systems are generally pretty. There's a lot of variety out there, but there's some fairly simple ones to play that give a good game, and they can watch a film and then reproduce it on the table if they want to, and that's always a good thing for kids.
And there's a lot of history.
Apart from if it's
it's covered a lot as well, isn't it? The Second World War, so there's a lot of documentaries, like you say, and and bits and bobs.
Yeah.
And you don't get the problems like Martin just had about knowing what drum skin or whatever it is, what colour to paint his drums. You could just type in Second World War German and it's in your face right there.
You say that, but I've been on some of your videos, right? And some of what people said about all of your videos, like Steve's as well. Some of the comments on there about uniforms and the wrong types of greys are nearly as bad as some of the other comments I've seen on Napoleonic stuff.
Oh god, yeah. Don't start with field grey. Steve will agree with me with that. What's the perfect field grey, Steve?
Depends. I like the way I paint field grey is I think it's, or I just use, strangely enough, I use Vallejo field grey.
Yeah, so do I, funny enough.
It's a good base colour, but you could grab, I mean, I've got 4 green paints there. Yeah. I could happily paint any German figure using any of those 4 green paints. And the first person that said, oh, you're wrong, would be told why they're wrong in a very, very polite way. But that's what they'd get told.
Yeah.
I just think that with World War II gaming, there does to be a slight less button, or as far as I found, less button counting or less, stitch watching or whatever you want to call it. I mean, you will get people who. Yeah, there will be people. Do you know what? Actually, just talking then about those plastic toy soldiers, I've got an urge to paint up a bolt-action army just using those plastic toy soldiers.
It'd be quite interesting.
Ooh, that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Maybe that could be a Christmas Day thing for you. Well, not Christmas Day, but like a...
It is an interesting one, though. Like you were saying with that, Steve. You imagine you could... Because field grey, am I right in saying... You could realistically, instead of just painting with that Vallejo field grey, like you said, you've got 4 different colours there. If you're going really late war like Berlin, you could paint up 30 men with a mixture of all 4, couldn't you? And just that'd probably be more realistic than them all being the same colour, wouldn't it?
Any greens, any browns, and if anyone says otherwise, just say, if you can point me in a reference where everyone had 100% matching uniforms in the latter days of 1945, you're a better man than me. But I think that's what I like about painting Germans and bolt action, though, is that I'd have to spend hours poring over historical reference material. I just paint them how I want them to look. It doesn't really bother me.
I might have to do that.
I did that with my late war Hungarians. I did when that Budapest book came out, I did a Hungarian army, and I did exactly that, Steve, because I was looking through some books, and they had all these pictures of them, and because obviously it was a siege situation, it was the end of the war for them, and they were equipped with anything they could get their hands on. So you see people wearing, mid-war German uniforms. You've got the Hungarian, army uniforms. Plus you've got people wearing Russian uniforms. And so I just did the whole mixed bag. And actually, I really liked the effect. It looked really good because,
on the tabletop, it looks really good. That's what I found with my Germans. And that I've not got a uniform color scheme. I've got the base color that I use, but I'll throw in different colored trousers or helmet covers or slightly different tunics, and it just gives it that sort of ragtag, like on campaign look.
Yeah.
And I just think as from a painting and modeling perspective, it's just a blank check to do what you want. There's no adhering to a definite color scheme, which is again which is why bolt action really does appeal to me.
Yeah,
I can't remember who it was now. Someone put a really good picture up on one of the Facebook pages, and it was of some museum somewhere. I don't know where it was, but it had all these German tunics on it. Just all the whole, about 20 of them all together, and not a single one of them was the same color.
I think that was
all
Paul.
completely different.
Or
was it Paul?
I think it was Paul.
Yeah,
yeah.
He put it on my Facebook group. If you post that picture in the Bolton Facebook group, though, it gets deleted because it's been posted that many times. I made the mistake, and I took 10 minutes of haranguing, and I just deleted the entire post and thought better of it.
What?
And do we? And guys, a serious conversational point here. Do we have a yellow card or a red card situation for the commenters on this channel? Because I'd like to seriously consider Peter for this, because he said, "How about being brave and teaching a youngster SPQR?" I think that's a definite yellow card.
I thought he was being genuinely like serious. I thought, oh no, we can't actually moderate.
Oh dear.
I think that's that's a definite warning, Peter. Sorry, nobody's allowed to talk about. Actually, GP had a good shout. He said, "What about Dead Man's Hand? Would that count?"
Dead Man's Hand definitely count.
What this?
Yes,
that would count.
Dead Man's Hand. Dead Man's Hand. Get that £40 box.
Oh,
it's sold out.
Really?
Was it Brush and Quill? I think he said to me. I think it was Brush and Quill said he tried to go and buy it because he saw my video, and they couldn't find it. So
they'll put it up again. It sold so well. They'll put it up again. Great Escape Games are quite good at stuff like that.
Smells new. What are you doing? SPQR. Smelling my SPQR book. Do you get that new book smell? Because I haven't used it at all.
That's the only use for that book, Ken, is to sniff it. To be frank.
Yeah. It's got that new book smell, isn't it?
It's just pile of junk. Battle Knight said he taught his oldest how to play Lion Rampant with Castle Lego range. There you go. And it is possible.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're interested and they want to play it, then brilliant.
Another shout would be, oh no, it's not historical. I was going to say Blood Bowl, but yeah, forget I ever spoke.
Steve, there's a new edition of that just coming out. Let's just hit the shops.
Yeah, I've not even finished painting the first one yet.
Oh dear.
It's taken me 3 years to paint 8 orcs.
I'll tell you what, though, lads, I am looking forward to. We don't mention it. We haven't mentioned it for a while because we try to keep off the old, the horrible situation that's going on. But I'll tell you what, it's looking more and more likely next year we're going to be able to meet up, all of us. It does looking more and more likely, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's looking good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I think you don't want to wish it. You don't want to sort of trust fate, but there's it does seem like this is going to happen.
So I said it to Hayley. I said, oh, what you were saying last week is that, we were joking about or were, about, oh, we should all meet up for a week or a weekend. Did you know what she said? Do you know what she called it? She goes, what is it? CrackCon.
Mate, what a name.
Quick patent that one immediately. I love it. CrackCon. Can you imagine that? Trying to advertise that one. Jesus.
On the radio.
Brilliant, Hayley. Well done.
I think we get a different sort of people turning up. Welcome to CrackCon 2021.
Welcome to CrackCon. Could you give a little gift bag out like they do at Salute? Here's your...
Here's snow. Here's your Colombian special.
Here's some fake snow.
Here's your little bag of crack.
Imagine the look on their face, like when they go into it and it's actually precision snow.
Yeah. Mate, I'll tell you what though, I know we keep saying it, but I would very much like to hire a hall. I would very much like to do that and do like a whole weekend.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
Very fun.
Just think,
it would be real fun.
Whole sessions on basing vehicle tutorials. It'd be like heaven.
Brilliant,
Led by
wasn't it?
you, Steve. Led by you.
And in the other corner, you can have a refight of Fury. Fantastic.
What I'd love in that, if Steve did a like a YouTube tutorial on how to base a vehicle, is if Ken was there, like the just in the corner, but like the sign language guy,
Yeah.
like but doing his own interpretation of what Steve's
Well,
doing.
basically just doing this, just basically going like this the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Brilliant.
Excited to just say, don't listen to him. He's talking crap.
Yes. Come over and play a
Oh
real
my
game.
God.
Napoleonic French. That's who you want to be.
How funny. Oh God. How about Memoir 44? That's a suggestion
cool
from
game.
Little Legions.
That is a cool game. It's a
I
board
don't know
game.
that one.
It's a board game, but it is good. It is really good at like
Undaunted's is good as well, but it's a cardboardy game.
yeah.
You can use models to represent the tokens. That's what me and Liam have done in the past.
That's one thing with
One that you were playing.
Who plays?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Who does anyone play any form of like card game?
Or deck builders. No, that Undaunted Normandy was the only one that I've ever played. And it was
I
very
do.
good.
Play a couple. I played the Blood Bowl game. That was really good. I've got that, the Blood Bowl one. But Fantasy Flight don't make it anymore. I had the Lord of the Rings card game by Fantasy Flight. Is one of my favourite co-op games that's ever come out because it's so hard, and then they released a nightmare mode for it where you could add in some cards. I was like, look at it going, it's already impossible. And then they added it, but it was really good because it was almost character progression. You could carry on your decks and you work together to against the game. And I really, really liked it. You're not necessarily the Fellowship. You're just other characters in Middle Earth. You could take Elrond and Galadriel and people like that out and you actually have like a quest to fulfill and little tasks to do, and you really do get a sense of urgency about it. So that's definitely a good one.
You'd really like that War of the Ring, mate. I played 3 games of it now. Oh,
what's that? The one with the app?
No, this thing here behind me. The board game War of the Ring.
Oh, the big battle.
Yeah, you would seriously like that. You would absolutely love that. He's so good.
See, I've got Android Netrunner, and literally nobody I knew was even remotely slightly interested in playing it with me. I think I've played 3 games in my entire life of that. I really enjoyed it, but I couldn't get anyone else to indulge in it.
I'm willing to give anything a go. Android gets really good reviews as well.
It's honestly, it's a fantastic game. The way it plays, and that you've both got you both play the game so differently to how the other person's playing. That really appealed to me, and it's got that whole sort of edgy, cyberpunky type feel to it. But no, single person. I spent an hour one night putting all the cards in sleeves. An hour, and nobody would play it with me.
I've done that.
Frustrating.
I've done that. Russian Quill said there's an XCOM board game.
Yes, there is.
Kind of get with that's but that's a cool game as well.
There are lots of cool games, and I think the other advantage is you got people like ourselves. Like there's 4 of us here. When we do meet up and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure any one of us would be willing to try any sort of game system, even if we've never played it. It's like Dom, you even played that bloody board game, didn't you? You gave it a go, didn't you? Even
the one you stitched me up.
Yeah, that one.
You stitched me up. You and Liam absolutely stitched me up like a kipper. But I'll give anything. I will give anything. Yeah, I'm not very good on board games like that, particularly, and I've never really played card games apart from poker and stuff like proper card games like that. But I'll give anything a go, really.
Yeah.
My issue is always, we talked about it before, it's just the time. If I only have time for one game a week or something, I want to play something that I'm really going to guarantee to enjoy.
Yeah.
So, I think I hear what Steve's saying, and there's been many a rule system I've really wanted to play. some of them, still got them on the shelf over there. I really still want to play, but nobody else seems overly bothered. So I won't push it because I think, oh, I want to get a game in this week, so I'll play something else that somebody does want to play, which is a bit of a shame, really, because sometimes I think, I wish we could have a go of whatever it is.
Yeah,
but yeah,
you know what you should do if you like.
It has
You've got
to be.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you know what you should do, right? If you've got a regular gaming buddy, like say for example me and you, Dom, yeah, if I come up and you should be able to say like once a year, or you should have 2 vetoes a year to say next week we're playing this no matter what. This is what we're playing. I'm gonna use one of my things and we're gonna try this. And then the other person could have 2 as well and go, do you know what, Dom? I know it's not your cup of tea, but I really want a game of this. Are you alright just to go along with it?
Don't do it, Dom. He's an SPQR video coming up. I'm telling you.
I can feel it coming. There's going to be some limits on that one.
I don't. It's alright.
Some limitations.
Dom, you're like me, mate. I didn't like the rule set. I didn't like it, and it was broken. it was broken. It was good for me as the Gaul player. Don't get me wrong. I didn't mind. Liam did as the Romans.
Oh, I'm exactly the same. I was playing the barbarian side.
Yeah,
it was a bit like I was saying earlier. It's as a game, if you just wanted to win, it was fantastic. But actually, that's not what I want a game. I want a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, if you want to try a new game that no one wants to play, or, you could do that with...
No, it's a good point. It's a good idea. It's a really good idea.
Jim said that his mate got him into Magic the Gathering when he first moved here, and he said that's real cardboard crack right there. I agree. I've got a friend who runs one of the largest Magic the Gathering distributors in the UK, and some of the money that you think that we spend a lot of money on plastic? You should see how much people are willing to spend on cardboard.
Yeah, boys.
Yes.
I'll never get involved with that ever.
I played Magic. Yeah, Ken. Do you want to feel young or old? I got my first Magic deck when you were 3.
Shut up. Yeah, I was born in 91. Yeah.
Yeah, I got my my first Magic deck in 1990. I've actually still got it. It's 26 years old now.
It's probably worth a bit of money, mate.
But we got into Magic in a big way. Our local games club, a couple of guys started playing it, and then literally, do you know when a game just takes off in a club and everyone's really interested? That's what happened. Magic just exploded, and week after week, people coming in, whooping with delight at what they just got in their latest booster pack. It was a mad few months.
You know how that game came about? I didn't know this until this year. Magic the Gathering. Do you know the designer? Do you know how it started life?
What?
And basically, it started life as like his maths dissertation. It's a little bit more involved than that, but it was all about probability and basically stuff like that. And his final part of someone's probably going to correct me here, but how I understand it is it was part of his final design, and part of his dissertation was this game, and it was all to do with probability and min-maxing and showing like deck building and things like that. And then he just turned it into his business. That's how I understand. I'm sure it's a lot more involved, but that's how it was explained to me.
It's pretty cool.
I'd love to start playing again, but I've been out of. I think the last time I tried to play Magic, because Magic's the only game that me and my brother will actually play. He's not a gamer at all, but we both enjoy playing Magic.
Yeah.
I think we tried must have been about 10 years ago. But there's been so many additions and expansions. I have a look now and I'm completely out of the loop. I've got no idea.
Yeah.
I've actually got on my Xbox, but I always feel cheated when I play games like that against the computer. I don't trust it. But no, it's a good game. It's just I just think I've been out for far too long. I wouldn't know how to get back into it or where to begin.
We tend to play it once a year when we go and meet my cousins on holiday, because all their kids play. But even though like they don't, we just don't seem to play any other time of the year. We just play when we go and meet up once a year. Even though they live around the corner, we always play when we go and meet them on holiday.
It is a. I mean,
Pokemon's massive. Pokemon's a massive thing at the moment, isn't it?
That's where Hayley is right now.
What do you mean?
She's out with her phone.
Oh my god!
Like she's gone to the shop, but she'll be raiding or catching something.
I meant like the card game, like tournaments.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the app thing.
No, Pokemon Go. I know what you meant. Everyone went through that craze, but no, the
I-
Pokemon cards are meant to be like the new hot shit. All those cards I had back in the 90s, first editions, are now worth a bomb apparently, and my mum chucked them in the fucking skip.
Oh yeah, a lot of money.
I hope
I
to
remember,
fucking God she never did it. Go on, sorry, Steve. I keep butting you out.
a couple of years back, a mate was round, and he plays poker, so both in casinos and online. And when he saw him in Magic the Gathering cards, he was like, "I didn't know you played that." And I was like, "Oh, you've heard of it?" He said it's very popular amongst poker players. There's a sort of training, a sort of regime type thing. But he said a lot of poker players do play Magic the Gathering as well.
Oh, really? Interesting.
That is interesting. My little cousin, right? He's how old is he now? He's 16. No, he's 17 now. But when he started playing, he's 10, and he has got like an idyllic memory. He can remember everything, and he is ruthless. We've tried his dad, who's the guy who I do a lot of regular gaming with. He tried to get him into wargaming. I think he sort of liked it, but he needs to go to Vegas because he can remember every single card that you've played, and he would tell you genuinely. He'll sit opposite you when he was about 12 years old and say, "I'm going to beat you in 5 turns. Do you just want to call it quits now?" And he just psych you out completely. And you go like, "No, like, what are you on about? Who do you think you're talking to?" And then he would absolutely pound you. Did you Matt Mail's got a good question, but I didn't know if you wanted to do Peter's question first, Dom, because that was quite good.
Yeah, I've just dropped something, but yeah, I'll forget what it was now. Oh, it was. Hang on, let me just read it out because it do it justice. So, Peter's little question of the week was: if you could only have one set of rules that you had to use all the time, which allows you to play a game as many periods as possible, what rule set would that be?
I know.
Yeah, I know.
I know. So, go on then. Can you start?
Black powder.
Yeah.
Or if you weren't,
much, isn't it?
or if you weren't into weapons like guns, it'd be Hail Caesar.
Well, it's the same system,
it's
basically.
The same system. That's it, isn't it? It's sort of like they've done it, haven't they? They've done multiple periods.
Yeah, but I tell you what, though, I've had some people recently comment on my getting into Napoleonic's video, and I say to them, fair play, that's your opinion and all that sort of jazz. But everyone keeps saying, I've had it a couple of times. People said, I really enjoyed the start of your video, the first 6 minutes. Then you said 2 words, black powder, completely turned me off the video. And I'm thinking, okay, fair enough, right? Okay. And I'm thinking, you're saying that probably as a more veteran player, and that's kind of like how I replied to it. But I said, for somebody just getting into the hobby, I said black powder is really good because it's very basic, and then they can expand to different rule systems. I don't want someone to come in and do Napoleonics and then jump into a rule system that literally is down to so unforgiving. There's so many different rules, and it's got no flow unless you're a real veteran. So I don't understand those comments sometimes. If someone could explain that to me, then I would agree. But they can't really put a fight up for it, and I'm like,
no. I had one the other day that was very similar, just saying that that they really enjoyed the battle report, and it wasn't like arsey at all, but it just highlighted why they didn't like black powder because of what they called hot dice. You know, the old guard managed to shrug off 5 hits, you know, because it rolled. And I said to them, well, because they like General Dami and you don't have saving throws in that, you just rack up hits. But I like the Ran, you know, it's to me, General Dami is a simulation and Black Powder's a game.
Yeah.
That's the difference to me. You know, if I want to play, I want to have fun and have a laugh. And to me, when people pass their saves, it's not just, to me, that's not just, you know, a bullet bouncing off of them. That's someone picking up the banner and, you know, because it's a morale save. It's not an armor save.
Missing.
It's meant to represent like the grind. It's not just losing troops. It's meant to be, you know, their morale. Hence, it's called a morale save.
The line, you know.
You know, a sergeant jumps forward and picks something up, or if it's Hail Caesar, like the standard bearer who jumped in the water when the Romans invaded. That's what it represents to me. And there are those moments in war and in history where people defy the odds, you know, completely. And games where I do like General Dami as a rule set, I've got it, I've read it. but to me, that's more of a I would never be able to get Haley to play that.
No.
Let's put it that way. And to me, that's from the more serious player who wants to really reenact those battles in the way that they were played.
I wonder if, I don't mean to sound horrible, but do you think it could be the fact of like you were just describing that there? Do you think it's like an imagination sort of thing? Because you use your imagination quite vividly, like that. How you've just described what you see and how you play it. Do you think you use your imagination a bit more in Black Powder than you would say General Army? Do you understand where I'm going with it?
I think it's more. Do you know? I honestly think it's more the kind of that whole debate that goes on internally in wargaming is the simulation versus the game ability. And I think, historical accuracy versus gameplay, that kind of scenario. And I think some people just get really hung up about the fact that certain rules are just too generic, don't have enough specifics to me. They do it with bolt action as well, similar kind of thing, don't they, Steve?
I think
people go, why do you play bolt action when Command and Conquer or X number of other rule sets is far more accurate? And it's like,
when I talk to people about why I play bolt action, I predominantly play bolt action. I've read the rules for Chain of Command, and I love those rules. Chain of Command is close to a simulation for me because it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cracking rule set, but for me, bolt action is those comic books that I used to read when I was a kid, like Commando and Victor. That for me is bolt action. It's not 100% entrenched in reality. There's a bit of fun thrown in there. The mechanics give you that element. There's been times where stories where a 10-man section has charged a 2-man machine gun team, for example, and lost a close combat because of poor dice rolling. The chance that happen in real life, slim to zero. Probably could happen, but it brings that bit of comic book feel to the game.
John Vassalone, he picked up that machine gun, didn't he? And where was he? And he defended those nests, didn't he, against hundreds of Japanese. So it does happen, like you say, but very rarely, doesn't it?
So it's things like that, and that's why I like bolt action. I will get around to playing Chain of Command, and what I like about Chain of Command is that it feels like a proper battle simulation. It's all about maneuvering, using cover, etc. Issuing the correct orders, and that's fine. I think there's room in the war games industry for games of all kinds, from your silly games like Blood Bowl, where every game is a laugh, right through to real serious. I may have mentioned it before, but my games club years ago, there was these guys, and they used to do it was 2mm modern warfare. And they used to play it on a table tennis table, and they used to have charts that were like that big, and it was that game looked so devoid of fun. I just wasn't interested in playing it. It just looked like a chore to get through.
Yeah, that's it.
It's whatever.
And I think in all seriousness, it is exactly that. I think I was just going to say the same thing. It's whatever you want out of a game, right? If you want to get 100% accurate, well, never going to be 100% accurate, but you want extreme accuracy simulation kind of games. There's loads of rules out there do that, but people get really sniffy about particular rules, and it tends to be the bigger companies like Warlords. They have this view of Warlords as just another Games Workshop. They're going to do the same kind of thing, and actually, I think it's a bit humble opinion, but
you want to speak to like we've spoke to the Perrys and stuff like that, and they've we spoke to them off the stream and stuff, and they were saying they use Black Powder for the majority of their games, but they still enjoy a very historical rule set. They love playing like a proper reenactment battle, and if they got the whole weekend to do it, they'd do it. But to get games on the table quickly and get games over in a night, Black Powder's perfect for it. So you can hang out with your friends and get a whole game done. Yeah. But they still enjoy playing those really sluggish games. And I think that's what my 6 mil is going to be. I think 6 mil is going to be a good little scale to maybe do those core size engagements and maybe use those nitty gritty rules and do it like that and be more like a commander of the whole army, like instead of just platoon strength. But again, you've got that.
I think all those games are fun.
Isn't it? Yeah, like Martin's got that rule set, hasn't he? It's only like 5 or 6 figures, but that's quite an accurate sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But again, but Brush and Quills has kind of hit it here. He said, surely games like Bolt Action are about heroes, not battles. And I think again, it just goes like, for what you're trying to recreate, or are you trying to recreate, or are you just trying to? Because I'm not a big fan of replaying battles. I don't, or refighting games. I do it if there's an event or if a bunch of us get together. But I don't want to sit down and just refight the same game.
Unless it's Fury.
Unless it's Fury, yeah. Only with Steve.
Only with Steve, yeah.
Do
you know what? I'm actually the opposite. I do love fighting those refights. I actually think for me, it's as much the time element of playing, to set up a proper inverted commas, a big refight battle using an involved rule system is probably going to take you several days to set it up, play it, and then get some kind of result. Whereas, I think for all of us anyway, we're playing in the evening, after work, you got a couple of hours, 3 or 4 hours at the club or at somebody's home, and you want to have a good fun game, and you want to have time to have a chinwag and a bit of a laugh while you're doing it. And, that's not to say you can't with those sort of more historically accurate games, but they are so much more involved and so much slower.
Yeah. If you've got
that you're never going to do it in the evening.
You need a permanent table.
Exactly.
A permanent table, you can do that. You can have a permanent game on the go, campaign sort of thing, but then dip out in other games. That's the plan for me, mate.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I think I don't know if I sort of explain myself right. Like I do. Like if I was going to I suppose me and my mate have built this stuff up to refight Towton. I suppose, but like if you're going to do it, but but like you say, like if you just want to crack something out in an evening, then I'm not going to. You just want to, or like when Ken came over, or you come over, it's easy just to throw down a few units, put a river on a board, and say, "Here we go. Here's our mission. Right, let's go for it."
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think you hit it spot on.
Actually, Kaiser said, "What about bolt action? Because you can skirmish just about any period with minor adjustments." That'd be a fair shout as well, actually.
Because one thing to remember about bolt action is that you're fighting a very small. Your tabletop is one part of a very big battlefield.
Yes,
and that's the way I always think about it. It's not one confined, unless you're playing like Firefight or a real small scenario driven game. I know some people. I think somebody left a comment on one of my videos saying. Because I know in Chain of Command you don't have artillery on the battlefield.
No, it's all off.
Whereas in
artillery, isn't it?
Yeah. As in, but in bolt action you do. I mean, you have 88 and you have quite big artillery pieces, which in theory you probably wouldn't have that close to the action. No. But for me, it just gives me the opportunity to paint up some really cool stuff and get them on the tabletop. I mean that for me that's the essence of why I paint and why I game.
Yeah, great. Enjoy your toys.
Yeah.
Although, of course, the cynic would say it's one of the reasons is that warlords can then sell you models that you don't really need on the battlefield for that scale, but which is also probably true as well.
It wouldn't just be warlords selling them, though. To be fair, everyone sells them, doesn't they?
Yeah.
I do.
What can I say? I'm addicted.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you what. I love it. Loving these paratroopers. They're pretty cool. I am very much enjoying these. But again,
I remember
staring at my friend.
The start of the podcast.
Yeah, go on.
I said so at the start of the podcast. I said I was painting some early war French.
Have you moved over to Germans by any chance? somehow.
No, I'm painting these European SAS.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Nice.
I've forgotten how nice these figures really are.
Oh, excuse me.
Can I ask you guys something? How many layers on flesh or bone would you say is too many?
There isn't too many.
Okay, cool.
Why?
I'm
Is
on
the
layer.
correct
Are you
answer.
going a bit obsessed, are you?
Yeah,
I
I've
think
started.
3.
I'm working my way from purple to very very light grey white.
I did.
To have like an undertone of
Yeah.
sort of magically icy looking. Well, not icy looking, but
Try glaze. Try
I'm
glaze.
trying. Yeah, no, I am. Yeah, and I'm glad. I'm just working it up in lots and lots of glazes. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to come out very well on there, but you'll. There's lots of ribs.
Oh, okay. Glazes are really good for that. Really good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what is good as well, Martin, is those colour shifter paints. That I think Vallejo do them. I can't wait to use some in my airbrush because if I ever do,
Vallejo and Green Stuff World, remember they had a whole sort of
oh yeah,
argument.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh, was that there? That one was it? Oh my god, that was hilarious.
yeah, the colour shift paint. But if I ever do a 40k ever again, my Marines will be painted in those colour shift paints.
Yeah, Army Painter just released some metallic paints, haven't they? Some true metallic colours or something.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm gonna get
I meant to check them out, but I couldn't find them individually. So, and I don't really need sort of candy pink metal yet. I'll wait till I'm doing something slinish.
Yeah,
There's still time.
there is time.
Do you know that's an interesting topic, and I meant to bring them up with me to show, but I'm prepared to say I'm a complete Neanderthal when it comes to paints and paintbrushes, and so I generally, certainly in the past, wouldn't actually really bother about what I use paint wise or brush wise or anything else. But increasingly, the more I've been doing figure wise in this year particularly, I've got more and more focused, I guess, on which paints to use and which brushes to use on that sort of thing. And I got this set, and I'm not even sure where I got it from. It was a color set of, actually, Steve, you might remember it. It's winter German camo, and it's got 4 different paints in it. A light grey and white, and I think it might be AK or someone. I meant to bring it up and I didn't. I have to show you another stream, but
Red Label.
I thought I have no idea. Can't remember. But I got it out the other night when I was painting these Latvians, as they're going to be, and I just thought, oh my god, it's such lovely paint, and it made me just completely reevaluate the whole thing and thinking I've been slowly improving the paints that I buy rather than buying just the same old crap. But do you really? I mean, I know people say, "Oh, I only ever buy Vallejo, or I only ever buy Army Painter," or Ken always says he only buys GW Citadel stuff. But do you just get so stuck on one set of paints, or do you really, do you regularly change them up a bit?
I mix and match.
Yeah, I've got 4 different types. I've got AK, Vallejo, Army Painter, and Citadel. Citadel don't really get used very much, to be honest with you. They're more for fantasy stuff. Same with the contrast stuff. I've got the whole contrast range. I've got every paint in the contrast range. Same with the Army Painter range. I've got the complete Army Painter set. No, well, I guess I haven't now, so they brought out metallics and new metallics. So I'm going to have to buy those because otherwise it's not going to be complete. But then I love my Vallejo as well. Vallejo are really nice, and Steve will agree with me for that because I think you use a lot of Vallejo, don't you, Steve?
Yeah, 99% of my paints are Vallejo. I use Citadel washes because I think they're really, really. The only paints I really use from Citadel are Cadian Flesh Tone and Mephiston Red.
Those are nice reds. That's about it. Covers really well.
It's one of the best reds I've ever used. I mean, I don't know why it's just and it mixes really well with Vallejo paints as well. Because I don't paint bright red very often, so I tend to mix it with browns just to dull it down. But it works really well. But yeah, for me, it's Vallejo. I mean, I've been using Vallejo now since crikey 2004, 2005. Before that, I was just used workshop paints.
Yeah.
But for primarily military or historical painting, I think you can't go wrong with Vallejo. It's kind of definitely my go-to brand of paint.
Yeah, Vallejo are good for but the same with the army paint. They're kind of in the middle, because you've got some nice bright colours, but you've also got those dark greens, and you've got dark browns in there as well, which do some really nice colours in there. But then you've got some vibrant purples and yellows, which is quite nice, and oranges and stuff. But yeah, the other thing as well, the army painted stuff is gel-based paint. Vallejo's not, either is Citadel, but the gel-based stuff you do well. I whenever I use it, I either water it down or I use some of this acrylic thinner. If I'm going to use the gel-based stuff, because it does spread differently. Because I remember when I first started painting with Citadel stuff, straight out of the pot, straight on the bloody mini. Yeah, Citadel as well, really thick, gloopy stuff. But Vallejo, sometimes, depending on which one you get, sometimes I've been a bit cheeky and just used it straight out of the pot when I shouldn't. I know I should thin it, and I've started being a bit more critical with thinning all my paints now. And a wet palette has come really good for that. Everyone will think I'm using the Army Painter wet palette, but I'm not. I'm actually using the box of the Army Painter wet palette and the skin, but I'm actually using from Asda their dishcloth soap fit sponges. They're about 5 billion times better than the ones the Army Painter sends you, and they don't go mouldy. So, and they keep the water in here sealed properly, and it doesn't dry up. So, do that.
It's a weird thing. I mean, I think there's so much. Again, it's one of those. It's a very personal thing, and I always like hearing what people use their paints and stuff. But also, people get really sniffy about them. Again, it's a bit like we're talking about some of these other things. People get very worked up about. Oh, how dare you use this? Oh, but I'm just it's an interesting one. I mean, I look at my paint collection. I mean, it literally is. There's paints there that I don't even remember where I got them from, let alone anything else, and a few sort of definitely non-military ones, just artist paints and stuff like that. But it just, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I've never really sort of focused on. It's the pigment level, isn't it? It's the amount of pigment they have in them that makes the biggest difference.
Yeah.
What's his name? Some of them have a lot of pigment, and it makes them really, really strong and good.
Goobertown Hobbies did a really good video. Brent over in America, he did a really good video about pigments. Hello, Haley. Just saw her head.
It's because she's very kindly got back from catching whatever Pokemon it is she's gone to catch, and she's pouring a beer.
Oh, that's nice. Is that for you or for her?
That's yes. Oh, you liked that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I did actually. It was nice.
You can put it up to the disembodied hand. Yeah, there we go. Look.
Oh yeah, well done.
There we go. There's been quite a lot of Brush and Quill says he uses cheap paint on terrain. I tend to do that. I go to the hardware shop and get like the testers.
Yeah.
And just slap that all over.
Yeah.
It.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's good because it's durable as well, isn't it?
I like what do you call scale 75? That paint's really nice.
That's the old.
That's one of the ones I've got.
That's
one of the ones I got.
Stuff,
really nice.
Isn't that the old Citadel stuff?
Is it?
Is it?
Is it the Citadel? Which one's the old Citadel one? I'm sure it is.
It's Foundry, isn't it?
No, I thought it was scale 75. If you know in the chat which one the old Citadel stuff was, he used to make them like the original like second edition Ultramarines colours. Oh goodness me, that's going to drive me insane.
Foundry paints. I've got a couple of those. They're quite good. They've got good coverage. But how was it? Someone had made a good point. Good point in here. I can't find it. No, it's gone. Oh, coat d'arms. That's it.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Oh
that's
yeah, I've
it.
got a few of those.
Yeah,
I've got a few
yeah,
of those.
they're
Those are the old
they're-
citadels,
yeah,
aren't they?
that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the old citadels. Yeah, it's funny. I've seen. Oh God, anybody watch Vic's models? American guy does
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
painting, and occasionally he uses oil paints.
Yeah,
his
I've seen
models.
that. Some
I
people,
mean-
a lot of people use like oily paints.
Yeah, I've got. I use some oil paints if I'm going to do an oil wash on something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done oil washes on like my sci-fi miniatures. Anything that's wearing armor, I use an oil wash on it because it gets I like sci-fi armor, not like.
I was going to say, do you
you
use
know.
that for War of the Roses?
God no, God no! You got enough time in my life to do that because you need to prep it for the oil. So you need, and then you can take it off with a cotton bud and rubbing alcohol and stuff like that. It's a bit involved, like a bit too. I wouldn't do it, for just a normal army that I was just gonna smash out. Tanks. I've done them on tanks
That'd be
because it
quite
gets
cool.
in all the.
Crevices. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think because I know a few people, and I've used a few where they've just used craft paints on their figures, and some of them work really, really well. Just normal craft stuff. It
If you
depends
thin
what
it
you're
down,
using
it'd
it
be
for.
alright,
I know
wouldn't it?
everyone.
You thin it down.
Yeah, I mean,
any paint should be all right if you thin it down.
And yeah. Again, I think there's so much snobbery around different paint systems.
If it looks cool, it looks cool. And if it works for you, it works for you. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I agree.
And at the end of the day, it's your effectively, without trying to sound like a weirdo, like it is your art at the end of the day, and you use whatever medium you feel to get the results that you want. You know,
100%.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's
they're all
like this
saying
one
thank
here.
army.
I'm trying to spend a little bit longer on this god tier miniature because it's just a single 54mm mini, and I'm not going to use contrast paints on it at all.
No.
I'm going to layer everything up, spend quite a while on it, and then it'll be a decent centerpiece for the warband that goes with it. It's got loads of little followers, and I'll do similar job on them if I can. But currently, just trying to pick out lots of teeth, and it's quite hard.
It's the same with these mine, to be honest with you. It's like I normally would contrast the hell out of my bolt action stuff. But these paratroopers, do you know when you just want to test yourself every year or 6 months, you might think to yourself, right, I want to paint some minis now to see how much my painting's improved to what standard it's got to now. And that's what these are. These are going to be compared to 2 years ago bolt action figures to see what the difference is. And see how far I've actually come along.
Yeah.
Right, nice.
I mean, that's why I play quite a lot of skirmish games, like things like Dead Man's Hand, like Bushido, because you only have a few miniatures and you can really go to town on them. You can spend that little bit extra because the amount of you can knock out a battalion in 2 days of French, or you could spend 2 days, on one mini, like Lord of the Rings, like the Eowyn miniature. I spent a good 7 or 8 hours on that, and it is quite rewarding. So every year I tend to look at another game. So at the moment I'm trying to decide on another skirmish game, and I saw that was that one I posted to you guys that I saw, that Twisted thing where you've got Bill Sykes and Nancy and Oliver Twist.
Yeah.
But
that
mutants.
was weird shit.
And Agatha Christie with a shotgun, which I thought you can get Poirot. You can have Poirot.
Why wouldn't you?
So there's that game, but I don't know what kind of sport it has or if it's any good. And then another one I was looking at, which has some amazing minis, is called Moonstone. It's a little skirmish game, little UK company, which has got very characterful miniatures as well. I have no idea what the game. Well, actually, no, I do know something about the game. I think it's a bit like Freebooter's Fate in that it's diceless and you're playing cards against each other to bluff each other where you're going to hit them. I think so. You play one card, and then you choose to defend that area or not, and then you reveal. And if you've defended it, then you take the hit. Sorry, you don't take the hit, and if you haven't defended it, you know,
Take the hit.
you roll to work it out. So yeah, it's so every year I try to look at another skirmish game to do. So I did. That's why I got the Wild West Exodus stuff, because they are really, really nice minis. Like Steve, you paint them up. They've got.
I was just literally about to say, when I paint Wild West Exodus, I have such a completely different painting regime to how I paint bolt action. I don't speed paint them. I just work through them methodically, because I think they're such nice figures. They deserve a bit of extra attention. But they're some of the nicest figures I've ever painted. They really are.
The resin is really nice as well that they're made, and I've painted lots of
Yes.
different resin from lots of different companies, and theirs is some of the best that I've painted.
I mean,
It's nice.
those three that I posted the other week on the Facebook group, the law bots.
Yeah.
They're essentially the same figure but in 3 different poses, but they look so good. They're just so. There's something about them that just really. I just that. In fact, that whole expansion, the armored posse, that was such a box set to paint. It really. All I've got left actually is the little attack. I've got one big ward. Is it a ward dog or something? And then I've got some of the attack dogs to do.
Have you seen their Christmas miniature? They send one out they do one every year, and last year it was a kind of a beast man in a Santa outfit with a massive axe and a sack over his back, and it was about this big. It was massive. But again, they're quite big, chunky miniatures.
God, yeah, they are.
Do you ever get intimidated by those models? You look at them and go, "Oh my god, I'm really not sure where to start with this one, or I want to make it, want to do it justice."
That one, I'm intimidated by that.
Is that the Witch King?
Yeah. I am very intimidated by that. I'm thinking,
don't be intimidated. Go in my painting playlist and put that on, and you'll find.
You pick it up.
I know one of the ones that I wasn't looking forward to painting is this, which you probably can't see it, but it's Gene Stealer Broodlord from Space Hulk.
Oh, cool!
It's such a nice miniature, and I really want to do it justice. So I spent hours painting that. It was one. I've actually spent ages painting my Space Hulk miniatures. They are literally some of the best miniatures I've ever painted in my life, because they're such nice sculpts.
Nick Games has just said he's noticed that Perry Miniatures have updated their webpage. They've even added more army deals. Who doesn't want a Wars of the Roses army list for £265? Well, it's funny you should say that. Actually, I was chatting to Matt's here. King Matt's here. Hello, mate.
Hello, mate.
I've been ignoring this a little bit. Whoops. Matt had a question that I thought was, where's that gone?
So you ignored him and then he ignored his question.
I know. I'm trying to find it.
We can get that of a nice YouTuber.
No, I should come over to my channel. I wouldn't.
I remembered. I've been chatting with him about Wars of the Roses stuff. I'm desperate to go back and do some Wars of the Roses, because now that everyone,
it must be ages since you've done it.
So my last lot I did in September, and then we had our game, and that was going to roll into some more games because I painted up so much, and then the lockdown happened, and then we couldn't. So, but then I was painting up all my Carthaginians.
You got a lot of cavalry, haven't you?
No, I haven't got any more cavalry to paint. I haven't got any more Wars of the Roses miniatures to paint. I finished them all. I've finished every single one, bar some casualty figures. So I need to basically go and find. I'm really sorry, Matt Mail. I can't find your your question anywhere. It won't let me go back. I didn't realise there'd been so many comments. Oh no, here we go. No, I found it. There haven't been that many. I've just been seeing. He said, "What?" Right. He just basically said, "What great games does no one seem to play anymore?" And he said, "Like BattleTech." He's like, "Is there any games that like you guys would like to play, but no one just seems to be interested in them anymore?"
Yeah. Epic.
Yeah. Epic.
Epic every day. Steve, me and you got to have a game of Epic.
Frozen?
Oh yes,
So I'd
Dark
love to
Guy is going to
play-
happen one day.
I want to
Yeah.
play Warhammer Ancient Battles because I used to love that system. And I saw
Yeah.
somebody doing a game of it the other day on a video, and I thought, why do I keep looking for a really good ancient rule system when I loved that rule system, even though it's now out of date? But I've got all the supplements, got all the rules. I can just play it anytime. It goes back to that business about other people to play with you.
I told
but
you I'll
yeah,
play it.
That would be what I do.
When,
Ancient Battles, definitely.
there you go. There you go,
Yeah.
Dom. We'll play that our first game if you want.
All right. All right.
You got
You're
two.
on.
You got two forces, or do you want me to bring my ghouls as well?
You can bring your goals, but I've got about 15 sides, mate. It's no problem at all.
Sound. We'll have a game. What scale?
28, of course.
Yeah, we'll have
course,
a game.
28.
We'll have a game.
That's
Yeah.
I had the rule book for that till quite recently, and then I sold it on eBay because I didn't think anybody played it anymore, and that was before I started watching the Plastic Crap podcast, and so I should have clearly kept hold of it.
It was a great rule system, and there's a thriving group still playing it. I mean, if you go on the Facebook, there is a Facebook group for it, and a lot of people still play it. And I think I might do my Normans that way. I'm more and more coming down to the idea of doing the Normans that way.
If it's a good rule system, why look for something else?
Yeah.
Precisely.
If I had to
To me,
choose
that's
one,
Yeah,
it would probably this is going to be obscure and going back a bit. It was Confrontation by Games Workshop, which was sort of the precursor to Necromunda, and it was seriously one of the darkest tabletop games I have ever played. It was just so good. Again, it was set in a hive, but it was really, really detailed combat. If you hit someone, you had to roll to determine where you hit them. There was in the arm, the leg, the chest. Then you'd roll on injury tables. It was just such a great game. I know I was really pretty young when I played it, but it's still. I can still remember the hours we used to play it for, and it was just a wonderful. And it was given away free as well. Free.
Makes it even better, doesn't it?
What they gave away a rule set that was free.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you believe it?
Good God.
I mean, we're talking. This
Good
was about 1992. So
Before they became money grabbing.
You.
I can't think.
I'll
of
just
one.
set you up.
Yeah, I know you did, mate. I was trying to be good.
But yeah, BattleTech's a good shout. We used to play quite a lot of that, and again, people just don't seem to play. I used to play it on PC a lot as well.
I would say if it was a game they said one that changed and people just stopped playing it, and that was Malifaux, but that was because there was this kind of weird power creep in the game, and it just went nuts, and everyone who I play with and who played on here just dropped it like a sack straight, like the second they released a new wave of figures, and everyone just went nope, and just dropped it. It's like we really enjoyed it, and then overnight, no, it's gone. But we always said, oh, we'll carry on playing, but we never did. I think that it's a bit of a shame, really. I have still got all the books for it.
It's a weird trait of wargamers, isn't it? As well as being complete kleptomaniacs and never having enough figures in our lives, we just drop rule systems. Just like perfectly good rule system that we all enjoy playing, and then suddenly it'd be like, oh, I'm not playing that one anymore, or not even vocalized. You just don't play it anymore. As I look at the rule systems I've got sitting around, I think, why did we stop playing that? That was a really good system. Why did we stop playing that? That's a really good system. I don't know. Bizarre.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
We stopped playing X-Wing when they upgraded to version 2.
Yeah.
And it involved buying new sets of cards for your ships.
Same here.
I just thought I all my X-Wing ships are on a case in my living room, and I dread to think how much money I've actually put into that game over the couple of years that I played it. It's scary thinking about how much money actually went into it. and that we just don't play it anymore because I just think the cost of buying the new cards just isn't worth the hassle. So yeah, we just overnight we just stopped playing.
You could still play the first edition though, Steve.
We probably would. Well, it's. I mean, I would certainly still play the first edition. It was just such a good game.
You just feel like a bit of a kick in the teeth, doesn't it? And so it just leaves a little bit of an initially it's just like a bit of a bad taste, and then you go, oh, I can do this, but then you're like, yeah, but I've bought loads of Germans now, and I want to paint those. Yeah, but no, have you seen Fantasy Flight have either sold or dropped the license for Star Wars?
Have they?
Yeah, it's been taken.
Yeah, this week by Modi, I think. So they've taken it, and apparently they're taking everything on from where that. But I know Fantasy Flight were having trouble getting like stuff out and getting kits. But Asmodee do the is it Asmodee? Might be someone else. They do the Marvel game that's been doing quite well that people have been
Wasn't
buying.
there another like major rule game that someone had taken over recently, and it was a bit controversial? Like a comic book company had taken over the rights to it. Was it Star Wars? No, they did Star Wars Legion. That was it. Yeah, they did. Legion.
Yeah, Fantasy Flight. Yeah.
So they're taking over Legion, but these guys are more renowned for comics, aren't they, than they are actual tabletop games? So
yeah,
you can imagine how that's going to possibly go.
Hopefully they'll.
See, I love Star Wars. I've just never played Star Wars Legion. It's weird, isn't it?
We've played a few games now, and I really enjoy it. It's we've had a lot of fun with it. I haven't won many games, but that's not unusual. So
no, this is very.
I've got Imperial Assault by Fantasy Flight Games.
That's great.
Never played it. I bought the main game and all loads of expansions, and sat down and thought, we're never going to play this, are we? And we never have. That was 5 years ago.
Let's another one for CrackCon then.
There we go.
Yeah, CrackCon.
It's going to be a fortnight at this rate, CrackCon.
I literally can't wait for CrackCon. It's going to be so good. What do people in the chat think? Would they like the idea of CrackCon?
If we called it something else.
No, we've got to keep the name. Why wouldn't we keep the name?
Can we do a t-shirt, like a proper festival t-shirt with like dates and stuff on the back?
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
You could pre.
We should call it something else, like I don't know, something really boring, but then put under as a subhead of powered by plastic crack.
Yeah, it would be good.
Yeah, I can't help but feel whatever the authorities waiting for us outside after that.
Yeah,
we might have
Brush and Quills put the alternative spelling there and just said crack, CRAC, and then con, just KON, or CrateCon. If anyone, Matt said put I love crack on the front. Matt Mail said crack on instead of crack. Yeah, there you go. I have a little competition. Who can come up with a better name?
There we go. Yeah. I think it'd be
Yeah.
fun to do. I would really love to do.
I love crack.
I love crack. Yeah.
If someone comes up with a really, really good name, Ken will put together those British miniatures live, as everyone can. Can see.
He will.
And every time he drops something, he has to take a swig of something alcoholic, and we'll see where he is by the end of it.
You are a wanker.
I know. Enjoy it.
I need to find something you really hate doing, and I don't know.
Know something I really hate doing. You know I've already told you. You're just.
I've forgotten, but I'll tell you what. You have to paint a regiment of old guard for me to keep.
What, like a secret Santa?
Yeah, there you go.
Do some old guard.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Oh, do you know what? Thinking of that, should we do that this year?
What, a secret Santa?
Yeah, but not just send somebody something. Actually, like paint them something, like a unit, a set they play. Like, say, I don't know, a couple of men or something like that, or if you wanted to.
Well, someone from the do someone from the comments and each.
No, I was thinking between us four. Be quite interesting.
Yeah, all right.
Be quite interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because we're blatantly just going to paint Don some French. So
That'll be all right. I don't mind that.
yeah, I'm not for that.
Jonathan always needs some of those down the club to play with. It's fine.
Something to always
Oh,
shoot at.
I'm up for that.
I think it'd be quite cool.
Right.
Get him to
That'd
do
be
your
funny.
regiment of French hussars.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Go.
Oh, we could do a lucky dip bag. So we could do a period. So we could do it live on air. Pull out what it's gonna be, what you're gonna paint, but then that would be.
Yeah, all right. We will have to do it at the start of December though, because you need time to get it and to.
Yeah, and we have to do the
Yeah, and
plastic crack schedule for over December as well. Because obviously,
whenever I'm chosen to paint, 10 French drummers, I might need some.
They're already in the post, you see.
So hang on, how are we going to do this? Hang on, what are we going to do? We're going to pick out each person. We're just going to
basically we give the person whoever you get, right? So say like for example, you get me. You get like 2 choices of like in a bag. So you get or 3 choices like Napoleonics, World War II, or Lord of the Rings. Yeah, for me. Yeah, for example. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pull one of them out, whichever one it is, and then that's what you would do. And so like I've got you get to choose 3 periods or 3 subject matters. Then I pick something out for you, and then I buy something for that and paint that for you. Same with Steve, and same with Dom.
All right. Russian Quills just said, "Just you 4. Ouch! I'm unsubbing you all."
Yeah, we should expand it.
Yeah, we could expand it. There's no reason we couldn't.
Yeah.
But you have to.
I don't see why not.
It could be a laugh.
We could do a little sort of, put people together to randomly draw out presents for other people.
If you're interested in joining it, email theplasticcrackpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
That's theplasticcrackpodcast@gmail.com if you are interested. And then
public service announcement from Ken.
This is a public service announcement. Email theplasticcrackpodcast@gmail.com.
Matt Mail said, "What if we all choose bolt action?"
That's all right.
Steve's
got a lot of Germans. But if you're interested, definitely take part in that, and maybe that'd be something.
I've got a few talkers here, a few takers over here, that's for sure.
There's some in here. You need 8 other people, then paint the 12 Days of Christmas in figures. That's Terry Head.
Oh, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I'm already slightly concerned by the December Wargamers Anonymous challenge, because they're talking about Christmas themed things, and I'm thinking, I don't think I've got anything Christmas themed. What the hell am I going to do for that?
World War One.
I've got that Warlord from the Open Day, the Christmas Truce set. I've got that.
You jammy bastard.
I've never done anything with it. It's just got I've got that. There's an elephant in the snow cow. I could buy another elephant.
There you go. Get drunk and order another elephant.
Put some tinsel on it. Hang on, let's see if this
tinsel mounted elephant. I love it.
So this has been sitting there drying all night, but there's my Carthaginian
snow
sort of command that
nice.
Pile of crack, yes.
Yeah.
On a pile of crack.
On a serious note, though, if you want to get involved with that, say what day is it today? It's Monday, and it's obviously Monday. You got till Thursday this week. Thursday, 5 o'clock. There you go. To email in case anyone's watching this.
So there's an alternative suggestion from Graham. He said, "How about painting a model that looks like the other 3?"
That's gonna get nasty quickly.
That would get.
That could go downhill really rapidly.
There may not be a
wants to paint me. I could just shave me head, put on a suit, and call myself Slender Man.
Listen, you already got a lot of comments earlier, Steve, about how you were the only properly dressed person on the pod, and I said,
sorry about that.
2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row.
No, I had it on last week. I did have it on last week. I just completely forgot this week. It's because literally before I came on here, I was on the phone and then I sat down, made myself a brew and thought, yeah, I've let the side down here.
I can't talk because I didn't do it last week, so yeah.
It's only me.
You're
that
allowed one
continuously
week.
It's only me that continuously looks like a toss pot, but there we go.
The only reason
Hey,
it's buttoned up is that I spilt chili all over myself as I ate. So I didn't want a scruffy bleeder on the screen. Like
Tim Bix has said, if we do World War One, do not add the feckin' football.
Boy, I just do that to annoy you now.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Oh, I've got to think of 3 things. So we'll randomise who's painting for who, and then they pick one thing out of a hat to paint for that person, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so then at least you end up with something that you want.
I'm going to think of something now. The thing is, you're just going to have to. Oh, dear. Okay, right.
So like
If I said that I don't-
like command or something. Wouldn't expect a whole 24 regiment of Napoleonics. So like just like a command.
This is 6 mil.
or
Oh, no, don't make
Yes.
it 6 mil.
oh fuck yeah.
I want the General Lee in 6 mil.
All the details of layering you can do.
And yeah, Terry Head's got it here. Choose something the others hate. So basically, all 3 are going to just. Oh dear. Something the others hate. It's going to be 95th rifles, isn't it? That's what it's going to be.
Could you do a command for those?
Dom,
Yeah, you can.
Dom, let's face it, everything you get's going to be French. Literally,
I
everything.
know
Yeah.
it is, mate. I know it is.
I've got a winter.
I'm ready for
Napoleon.
that.
Just remembered. Hang on, I've got my box of Napoleonic metals, and it's very fetching ghost perfume box that I bought for Haley, which is awesome for storing metal models. Look at all this. These are all metal sets that I haven't done anything with, and a few sprues off the fronts of magazines. Napoleonics.
Is that where my commander come out of?
Probably. I've got loads of commanders in here for when I just fancy making a command base. I've got the Russell Crowe Master and Commander miniature that came in the front of
That's
the.
a lovely model. That's a lovely. I use that as a commander in my shop practice
Marines
army.
one day.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I have asked Laura for Marines of the Guard for Christmas.
Yes, yeah, you can. There he is.
I have asked about that.
There he is. There's Winter Napoleon.
Oh, very cool.
I have actually got one of those giant models of Marshal Ney from the retreat from Moscow, which is a really nice model. I was going to paint him up as something really inappropriate, like British. But...
Yeah, I've got Napoleon in Egypt. I've got Uxbridge as well at Waterloo. I can't wait to do that.
Yeah, that's a nice model. That one.
That is a nice model.
Really nice.
I've got the Chamberlain brothers as well.
Sorry. Duncan FX has just said, I've got it. PCP Con, Plastic Crack Podcast Con, snowy bases all round.
PCP.
I've got this figure. This guy I know who. So we run a community project every year, where we work and anyone can come and dig and do things. And there's a guy there, and he's actually a sculptor. And I run into him every now and then. And he just gave me some Napoleonics that he'd sculpted. So there's like this guy here, just like chewing on the end of his hat, just some kind of.
That's cool.
And you know the Napoleon that I use for the turn markers, who's sitting on the drum looking at the list.
Yeah,
he did that as well.
That's pretty cool.
But
they're unique models as well, Martin, then, aren't they?
Yeah, I think he sculpted them. I think he sculpted them for somebody. Not Callistra. Another company, but I don't know if it ever went into production. I sent him some pictures of it all painted up, but because he asked if he could send it to him. So.
That reminds me, general plea, anybody who's out there, I would love to get hold of a sort of medic-looking figure for Napoleonic period. for my shop practice armies? Any idea? Any idea? I know there's that
French
Perry's is it that do the ambulance, but I don't want a big one. I just want one figure that looks like a medic or a Napoleonic era.
Could you use
medical.
the one that Foundry do for the English Civil War? He's just wearing an apron. That's all. You could probably because I suppose actually no. Unfortunately, he's hacking off a cavalry. I'm sure I've seen one, a British medic. I used the female. I bought one from is it Gringo 40s? They did the female models. And there was a female medic, so I've used her on a command base. She's there with a big cleaver. Without to take off someone's leg.
Wasn't that part of like?
That one. Sorry.
No, go on. No, that's right. Go on.
I mean, something like that would work because I'm thinking it would also work across. Yeah, for AWI as well, because it would be pretty similar looking, I would imagine. But I'm just trying to find something. So anybody finds one, just let me know.
Was there
Peter says Foundry.
Was that actually a guy's job though back then? Did they not just wait till the end of the battle?
They had field ambulances.
Yeah, they had field. They just weren't terribly efficient. I mean, the French were more efficient at it than anybody else. I think, to be fair. But mostly they weren't. Yeah, they just weren't very good at it.
Was that Don paying the French a compliment? Jesus.
You know, listen, not wanting to put any, start any sort of spoilers on my channel, but as you watch Saturday, you might be intrigued about my supposed anti-French feelings. Because there's a video going up which will make you all laugh. I know.
Brilliant.
I look forward to that. What are you looking for, Steve?
Perry's medical set. Okay. All right, I'll have a look at that. Thank you.
I don't know if
what's happening?
I don't know if you guys can see
tricks.
How's that come out? Can you see his face that well?
No, it's not that clear, mate. To be honest,
I'll have to send a picky. I'm trying to decide whether to do a little bit more on him or not.
You can just for future guys to be even more fun and technical. We can you can set up keys on your keyboard to show like images over your screen, like through OBS. So like if you've got some pictures from beforehand you want to show in the future, and it will come up clear because it's a different feed than your video. So like if you've got some model pictures you want to share, I'll have to show you guys how to do it.
Right,
great.
Yeah,
so we've mastered all getting on. So because it's taken however many episodes,
37 weeks or something.
We're ready to move to pictures.
Yes, we certainly are.
We're moving on to advanced streaming number 3, which we can try and balls up as well.
It's 10:05.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, time fly when you're having fun, eh? I wonder why I finished making up models.
Does anyone want to add anything else before we disappear?
I've just found some Peter Pig cavalry.
It's a bit random, Steve. Oh, nice.
Very nice. Steve, I've got
I'm going to have to.
Beautiful 6.
I think that's going to be my Christmas project, with rebasing all my 15 mils, because they just.
You started it, haven't you, Dom? You have started it.
I did the ACWs. Yeah, you maybe did the ACWs,
Are they done now,
but that got me thinking. Yeah, they're all done.
Oh, wicked.
And now I need to do the Napoleonics. So, I could move on to the ECWs as well.
You should have them just sat there for when you're at work, mate. You should have them sat there for when you're at work, Dom. It's like, you're on the blower.
Yeah, I could do. I mean, I'm always on Zoom though, so you have to keep your screen on. So, well, I suppose if I kept it low down, it just looks like I'm fiddling with something on my lap. Maybe you'll think that's weird. Maybe you'll think that's weird at all, will they?
No, not at all.
Maybe not.
So
maybe not.
So just quick recap of what we got done. I've managed to get everything I wanted done. So I got the webbing, the brown on the spade on the wood, and neatened up all the green and the flesh for my 10 paratroopers, which I'm very happy with. What about everyone else? Did you all get your stuff done? What about you, Steve? Did you get what you wanted done?
No. I primed the five French infantry, and I've spent the past 2 hours repainting an SAS Jeep and a squad of 6 SAS troopers, and I'm really pretty happy with how they've turned out. They look actually look really good. I think I've got a new project on the horizon. Bugger.
Oh,
Not
dear.
again. Not again.
Oh dear.
What about you, Dom? You got what you wanted done?
Well, I've made up the crews for these 3 British guns, but I haven't made the guns because Rory sent me the instructions apparently. So I'm going to have to look at that afterwards and try and work out how to do the guns. But yeah, it's been all right. I never seem to get that much done when I'm chinwagging with you guys, but that doesn't matter. It's good fun.
What about you, mine?
What about you?
Go on, you go first. Mine. Go on,
Me?
you go first. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I got all of those done up to the wash stage where I've just slathered them in various washes. So I've been waiting for them to dry. So they just need highlighting and flesh, and they're done. So that's my unit of 32 pike and command done. So flags, and then I spent an hour just working on the bone and stuff for this. So
Nice.
So yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, and then I've just finished off, and I've put the footprints in the snow for my horse.
Oh, nice.
So there we go.
Oh, and here's my latest display base for my Stalingrad Germans.
Holy shit, that's the size of a plate.
Is it a placemat?
Looks like
No,
it.
it's one of those things you put hot buns on.
Wow.
Seeing his bloody bases, Jesus.
That's a base nasty.
God,
You're not going to have any room to stay in your place.
No, there is. It's actually a trench. They can actually fit 10 guys. Is Miller still in the chat?
I'm not sure. Probably. Not long ago.
He set me a challenge on one of my display bases of hiding a Russian. So on this one, I'm going to try and put a little manhole cover with a head sticking out. So that's going on that one.
Very nice. Cool.
What about you?
Love it.
I said, didn't I? They're my Americans.
Oh yeah, I didn't listen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, cheers. Don't worry, mate. That's fine. But,
No, I was trying to find what I'd done.
Like everyone else, yeah. No, that's fine. Fuck it, yeah. Don't worry. It's
You
all
say
right.
something, Ken. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Yeah, it's all right. Well, guys, thanks very much for watching. We'll see you again next week. And
Cheers for watching, guys.
Till next week. Stay safe.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Hello.
See you again soon. Bye bye.
Sorry.